Hi guys, welcome to my house. I hope you can see everything. All right, so today I'm not in. I'm in quarantine, so I'll be back on Thursday. All right, so here are the answers from the do now. We're gonna write the equation in slope-intercept form. So if you guys just don't remember, you're solving for y. Okay, so when they say they want you to put this in slope-intercept form, it means they want you to solve for y. So we have 9x. Oh my god. Do not judge this. Minus 2y equals negative 10. So I have to get y by itself. So I'm going to be subtracting 9x from both sides. Boop. I'm going to draw a line. I have my railroad tracks. This cancels out, and I'm left with negative 2y equals negative 10 minus 9x. Now I got to get the y by itself. So I'm going to divide negative 2 from both sides, but I got to do it from each term on the right. Okay, so that cancels out. And we're left with y equals 5. And this is going to be plus 9 over 2x. Ta-da! So the answer for this one would be A, because all they did was switch the 2, and they put 9 over 2x in front and then plus 5 in the back. So my slope would be 9 over 2, and my y-intercept would be 5, positive 5. So that's what that looks like. Okay, if I'm going too fast, just rewind it, pause it, anything like that. I'm going to be kind of going a little bit faster because I don't have any of you guys slowing me down to ask questions. So that's the speed I'm going to be going. Feel free to have those questions when I return. Okay, so this is really important when we're doing finding the squares and things like that when we're working with quadratics. It's one of my personal favorites, but we'll get to that when we get to that. This really helps when you're you have to really know your times tables really well. So you need to find the numbers that multiply and give you the top number and add and give you the bottom number. So they have to multiply to give you the top, and then you have to add them to give you the bottom. So we have to find two numbers. So we have 1 and 30. Okay, but 1 plus 30 equals 31. So that can't be it. So we're going to cross that one out. Then we have negative 6 and negative 5. Yeah, negative 6 times negative 5 does equal 30. Awesome. And then negative 6 plus negative 5 equals negative 11. So this one would work. This one would work. This one won't work because, 2 plus 15 is 17, and we need negative 11, so that's out. And this one won't work because this is 6 plus 5, which is positive 11, and we clearly need negative 11, so that is also out. Okay? So I'm going to trash this, and I'm just going to click my way through. Oh, look, that was the answer. Okay, now, function. Okay, so like I said, guys, I am a lazy math teacher. And when I see something like this, I could plug in negative 5 for x and solve it. That's how I learned when I was in math class. But you guys have these fancy TI-84s that y'all can just bring out. So we're going to use that. Side note, I do feel a lot better than I did feel last week. Could barely get out of bed. So guys, make sure you wash your hands and be safe. All right, so I'm going to press y equals. I'm going to clear this out. And then I'm going to type this exactly how I see it. So it's going to be -2 parentheses x. That's the x button. I'm going to square it. -1. Close the parentheses. And then do +9. I'm going to double check to make sure I typed it exactly how I see it. And I did. And I'm going to do second graph to get the table. I'm just going to scroll up to -5 because it's just one notch. Oh, there it goes. Y equals -39. That would be my answer. All right. No, you can also just type it in your calculator how you see it. That's fine too. You want to do that, but I didn't. And I just typed it in y equals and I got that. That's what I did. So y equals -39. All right, and this is a new one. Okay, so each month, John earns $250 working at a shoe store. Way to go, John. Okay, for each pair of shoes he sells, he earns $10 bonus. Which equation can be used to determine John's total monthly paycheck, f of x? Remember, f of x is just a fancy way of saying y, based on the number of pair of shoes he sells. So this is all review because we did this last year. He earns $250 working at the shoe store each month. Okay, so we're just learning by the month. Okay, not by the year or anything, just total monthly. John's total monthly right there. That's the key right here. So that's his flat fee. That's if he doesn't sell any shoes. But if he does sell shoes, he gets $10 for each pair of shoes he sells. So we have our $250 flat fee. That's what you get for me being in the store every day. Plus $10 for each pair of shoes he sells. So $10 is going to represent 10x. Okay, so now we got to figure out which one of these works with that. It's definitely not this one because there's no starting point here. This is just 10x, so that's not going to work. Not 1/10. Oh my God, he's losing money, so that's obviously not going to be it. And C would be the most accurate because he gets $250 as flat fee, and then he gets $10 for every pair of shoes he sells. This one should be 100%. Everybody should have got that one. Okay. All right, and the last one. Let me erase all my lovely art. Write an equation to show the slope in y-intercept form. This is another literal equation, getting y by itself. Okay. I'm just going to do all these. I don't know what you guys did on this yet, so hopefully I clear up any confusion any of you guys might have had during the warm-up. So I'm going to draw my railroad tracks. I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. We'll cross this out. Then we have negative y equals 1 minus 3x. Now this is the tricky part because we have a negative y. So we're going to have to divide each of these sides by -1 to make this positive. Okay, so we got to divide everything by -1. So that's going to change a few things. We're going to have this be y equals, this is going to turn into a -1, and this is going to turn to plus 3x. So now we have this, and it should look like this, 3x minus 1. So this would be our correct answer. It would be B. Whew. All right, so I'm going to trash all this, and then we're going to move on to the next thing. Okay, today I will solve problems involving direct variation and create equations in the form y equals mx plus b. Direct variation is proportional relationships. You learned about that last year. That's when the line goes directly through the origin. There's no y-intercept. There's no starting point. It just starts at 0. Okay? So that's direct variation. Okay. The line is direct variation because it passes through the origin. You have a slope. Y-intercept is 0, or I say you don't have one. You don't have a starting point. Now, how to graph, you do y equals mx plus b, which is slope-intercept form. You have the slope, which is the m, and you have the y-intercept, which is the b. Okay, all review from last year. Okay, so you should have a new table of contents. I am not there, so when I get back, I'll have those printed for you guys. Okay? If the other teachers did give you them, bless them. I owe them Christmas presents. But if not, oh, I'm sorry. I'll bring it back. I'll get those copies back. So make sure you write that down. It's going to be on page 2223. Today's date is the 4th or 5th, just depending on what day you're watching this. Direct variation in slope-intercept form. Fabulous. Okay. If I'm going too fast, you can always pause it, write it down, and then play it and keep watching. All right, direct variation. Slope-intercept form. A to D, A to B. Page 22, 10-4, 10-5. Part 1. Which situation represents direct variation? Give an example. Part 2. How do I write an equation in slope-intercept form, and what does each part of the formula stand for? P.S. It's all review. We're going to do it anyway. We need to practice. All right, direct variation notes. This is called a proportional relationship. Vocabulary key points. Direct variation is a proportional, look at that, relationship. As x increases, y increases by the same factor. If y varies directly with x, the equation is y equals kx or y equals mx, whatever makes you feel better. K represents constant, but I didn't invent this equation, so don't shoot the messenger. Y over x is going to be the slope. Okay, it's a straight line. Y-intercept is 0, goes to the origin. Okay, if I go too fast, pause it, write it down, and then keep watching. Okay, so example. Does this represent direct variation? Number 1 is yes, because it goes to the origin. Very good. Yes, because the y-intercept is 0. Number 2 is no, because it's a y-intercept of 3. Number 3, I don't know off the top of my head. So I'm going to use my calculator. Okay? Remember stat edit? We're going to do that again. But we're only going to have to utilize the first 4 points. You don't have to put the whole table in there unless you like. But it's not required. I'm going to get my calculator. I'm going to do second quit. Start from the very beginning. Clear screen. And I'm going to press stat. I'm going to press edit, enter. I'm going to list my x values. So I have -1, enter, 4, enter, bam. Then I'm going to go across. I'm going to have 4, enter, -16, enter. And I feel like I'm doing this wrong. I don't know how. See, guys, my brain is still loopy. What in the world? Okay, -1, enter, thank you. 4, enter, thank you. Next. Then I'm going to do 4, enter. And then -16, enter. There we go. Now I'm going to press stop. I'm going to go over to calc. I'm going to go to 4, line reg ax plus b. I'm going to press enter. Then I'm going to press enter till I get to another screen. Enter, 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 enter. Ooh, this is proportional. You could have also done another different thing, like, hey, I know if this is going increasing up by 4, you could subtract 4, it would be 0, but, you know, this is easier. So the y-intercept is 0, so this is going to be proportional because b is 0. Hopefully I didn't lose anybody. All right, if I did, I'll be back Thursday or next week. All right, a canoe rental costs $2 per hour plus a deposit of $4. So we have a canoe rental that's $2 per hour. So we're going to put 2x. And then the deposit is $4. So no matter what, you putting that deposit down for $4. So because the way I'm writing this equation, this is also going to be non-proportional because you have 4 as a y-intercept. Okay. Oh, and 3. Yes, because y varies directly with x. That's another explanation. All right, continuing on. Look at these. Number 1 is a trick question, but this is not proportional because it's not linear. Just kidding. It's not linear, so it's not proportional. Proportional can only be linear relationships. So only remember, straight line. Now, if we divided both sides by 2 and got y by itself, this would still be proportional because there's still no y-intercept. So y equals 1/2 x because the y-intercept is 0. This one's also proportional because the y-intercept is 0 as well. But I would try to graph this still to see what it is because you can have a curve as well. So make sure, if you could, try to graph it, see if it works. Or put it in stat edit, see if it would get you a slope. All right. The value of y varies directly with x. Write a function that represents the relationship between x and y. If y is 15/4 and x is 20. So we're doing y over x, okay? And y is 15/4 divided by 20. Okay, you can also write this like this. Divided by 20. Okay? And then type that in your calculator. You can type this in your calculator and see what you get, and it'll give you the answer. For me, I'm going to do this by hand because I'm lazy. Not really, kind of. I don't feel like getting my calculator out. Do keep, change, flip, change the sign, and then have this as 1/20. I know that these two can be simplified, so I know that 5 goes into 15 3 times, and then 5 goes into 24 times. So this would be 3/16. So y equals 3/16x. Okay? So that's what you should get. Now, you can also type this in your calculator, and I'll pull that up just because I know I have a lot of calculator lovers here. And you can do 15/4. Let's see what that is. Which is 3.75, and then divide it by 20. And you would get 0.8175. But what is that as a fraction? I have no idea. So I'm going to do alpha y equals, I'm going to go down to 4, press enter again, and I get 3/16. Imagine that. So, you could definitely use the calculator to get the same thing. No one's going to know the difference. Okay? Just as long as you know how to solve the question. That's the most important part. Okay, what would happen? 18/6 or 13/16? Either one of those. Okay. So now, the value of y varies directly with x. Write a function that represents the relationship between 12/5 and 40. So remember, we're putting y over x like we did last time. Y over x y is going to be 12 over 5 divided by 40. I'm going to do this one by hand. Feel free to use the calculator. I'm not going to know the difference. There's just something really satisfying by doing math by hand to me. Maybe I'm just showing my age, but I like it. So I did 12 over 5. Then I'm multiplying, and then I'm turning this into 1 over 40. Okay. I know both of these have 4 in common. So I know that 4 goes into 12 3 times. And that 4 goes into 40 10 times. So this would be 3 over 50 as a slope. So we could have our answer as y equals 3 over 50 x. Now let me check my work, because you can never be so sure. It's always important to check your work, because I know I make mistakes all the time. So let me check. So I'm going to do 12 divided by 5. Let me get the decimal. That's 2.4. Then I'm going to divide that by 40. Divided by 40. And I get 0.06. And then I want to turn that into a fraction. So I'm going to do alpha y equals 4, enter, and I get 3 over 50. So that would be your direct variation formula. So that's what you would put. 0.06 or 3 over 50. Either one we accept. I always make sure that you know both of them, because you never know what your answer will show up as. Okay, so let y vary directly with x, and let the points -8 and 28 satisfy the relationship. So remember, x always comes before y. It's same as in the alphabet. And it's already telling us this is direct variation. So we know that these vary directly. So we're going to do 28 divided by -8. And guess what? We're going to type this exactly like that into the calculator. If you can find the greatest common multiple between them, kudos to you. You win my math award. You're amazing. Okay. But if you don't like to, you can just type 28 over -8, enter, -7 over 2. So D would be correct. So that's how you would solve example 3. Ooh. Just like that. Okay. Okie dokie. So example 3. The mass of substance varies directly with the volume of the substance. The volume of the substance is 100 kilograms, and the substance is 80 liters. The volume in liters. What is the volume in liters if 3.2 kilograms of the substance? Okay. So what I like to do is I like to call this a ratio box. Now, people call this I don't know. Some people call it different type of boxes. I call it a ratio box because that's what my math teacher told me what it was called in the 6th grade. So that kind of stuck. Okay. So ratio box. So the mass of a substance varies directly with the volume of the substance. The volume, so we know volume is going to be one thing, of 100 kilograms. So volume kg per kilograms. And we know that this is going to be 100 of the substance for liters. We're going to put liters down here. L, I, and you just put L. I know in science, you just put a big L for liters. So we're going to keep that same energy. And I'm going to put a large L. For liters is 80. Okay, that's our direct variation formula. They vary directly. So whatever happens to the bottom is also going to happen to the top. So what if I only had 3.2 kilograms? How would I find how many liters I would need? So this is all sixth grade math, okay? You set up your proportion and then you can cross multiply and figure out what these are. Okay, so there's two ways to do this. I usually like to know, hey, I go across, I multiply these two, and then I divide by my odd man out, which is 100. Or you can just write it as an equation. Okay, I learned that from Miss Lehman. And that helps students to figure it out. So you can just do 80 times 3.2, see what that is. And we know that that's also going to equal 100x. But we got to solve for x. So we got to figure out what is 80 times 3.2. Okay, let me grab my calculator. 80 times 3.2 equals 256. 256. I'm going to write this math on this side. Let me use pink though. 256 equals 100x. And then we're going to get x by itself. So we're going to divide both sides by 100. What's 256 divided by 100? 2.56. But let me double check that to make sure. Okay. Divided by 100. Amen. I was right. Look at that. I had no idea. So let's just check. Varies directly, it is proportional because it has varies directly. That's very important. When you have varies directly, just know that there's not going to be a y-intercept. There's not going to be a starting point because it's a proportional relationship. Okay, y and x. Y is mass. X is the volume. Words. Oh, they call it a one chart. Sorry. One chart. Words, original information. New information. Kilograms is on top. Liters is on the bottom. Kilograms was 100. Liters was 80. Just like that. The new information was 3.2 kilograms x. You got to cross multiply. Why do I bother writing? You got to cross multiply and you get 80 times 3.2, which equals 100x. 256 equals 100x. Divide both sides by 100 and x equals 256. Look at that. All right, you're going to try these on your own. Swining's not going to give you answers anymore. I'm just going to click through them to tell you what they are. It's really important that you set up these one charts or ratio boxes. You can call them a one chart because it makes sense. So just call it a one chart because I'm probably going to call it a one chart from now on. So words, original information, then new information. And then you're going to solve these. Okay. Stop the video and challenge yourself. Challenge yourself. You can do it. Okay. Okay. Hopefully you stopped the video. So I'm going to click through. All right. So we had our y, which was negative 20. And we don't know what the new y is. So we put y. And then we have our x's. Our original x was 5. And then we know that the new value was 12. You cross multiply. You get 20 times 12, which is negative 240. Divide that by 5, you get 48. Oh, look at that. Okay, the one chart. You're going to do the same thing for number 5. The cost of renting a canoe varies directly to the time a canoe is rented. It costs $55.50 to rent a canoe for 3 hours. How much does it cost in dollars to rent a canoe for 4.5 hours? Okay, so we have our hours at the bottom, cost at the top. Our original information is going to be $55.50 for 3 hours. Now we got to figure out how much would it cost for 4.5. So we're going to cross multiply these two. I have no idea what that number is, but it's a number. And then you're going to divide it by 3 and you would get 83.25. Okay, that's what you should get. So if you didn't get that, you need to check with your shoulder partner and figure out, how did I get that? What did I do? But this is stuff you've been doing since you were in the 6th grade, so you should know what to do. You should know. All right, write an equation, slope intercept point that passes through these 2 points. So you can just, this one, x, y. We have to get the slope intercept form, right? The whole entire equation. So we're not just finding slope. So for this one, I would put this bad boy in stat edit. There's no shame in the game. You can use that on the test. So I'm doing the stacking method. Stack this one first, stack with this one second. Simple as that. And then you're going to put that bad boy in stat edit. So I'm going to grab my calculator up. I'm going to clear it out just because I feel like that makes me feel better. Second plus 712. I'm going to press stat. I'm going to press enter. I'm going to press enter again. And then I'm going to do -12. Enter. And I'm going to do 6. Enter. Woo! Then I'm going to go across. And I'm going to type, I'm going to type 14. Enter. And then -1. Enter. Bam. I'm going to press stat. I'm going to go over to calc. I'm going to go down to 4. I'm going to press enter. And then I'm going to press enter until I get to the next screen. And then bam. We got this freaky looking number right here. I don't know what that is, but I can figure it out. So we have -0.83 repeating and a y-intercept of 4. So let's figure out what that is. And if you know what that fraction is, you're the best. But I have no idea. So most of the time when you have something like this, you can guess and check with the other fractions that they might have on the test and then turn those into decimals to see which one would match. Okay, now we can do our best we can, but because it's a repeating decimal, it's going to be a little bit tricky. Now, I should know this decimal by heart, but fortunately I don't. I don't know all. Shame on me. Shame on you, Miss Whiting. It's okay. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. I'm going to press stat. I'm going to do second quit. I'm going to see what this is. 0.833333333. I'm going to do alpha y equals, press 4, enter. And it's going to be 5/6. Oh, it does it for me. Oh, my God. That is correct. So you can see if it works. Sometimes it won't work, but it worked that time. So, hey, I'm down with it. So this is y equals 5/6 x plus, did I really just put b for my y-intercept? Guys, my mind is still a little bit loopy from recovery. So I'm just letting you guys know. I'm not 100% yet. Still got the body aches and stuff. 4. It's supposed to be 4. Okay. Let me erase that and put 4. Don't make a mistake like Miss Whiting. Make sure you're actually reading your calculator before you just write numbers down. And that should be your equation. Okay? Let me double check my work just in case I totally lost my mind. Stat edit. New regression. Slope is -5/6. There we go. All right. Now you guys are going to do the next. I'm just going to click through. Just show you the answers. Number 1. Hopefully you pause this before you just solve these. Number 1, hint, pick 2 points. You only need to pick 2 points, you know. You can pick these last. We usually pick the first 2. Let's pick the last 2. Be different. Pick the last 2 this time. If you don't, it's fine. You know, who cares? All right, and then put in stat edit, and you should have got something like that. Should have got something like that. Same with this one. Put this one in stat edit, and then you should have got something like that. All right, this one. Ooh, this is a lengthy lesson today. All right, so we have our y-intercept, which is right down here. Okay, so I already know that I'm going to put this in y equals in x plus b. Gotta love slope, man. Slope is just the best. All right, so then I'm going to find 2 pretty points after the y-intercept. And I'm going to draw all the way up, and I know I'm rising 2. So I'm going to be rising 2, because it's rise over 1. If you guys don't remember, it's okay if you don't. I'm here to remind you, and I'll be reminding you throughout the year. And then I'm running 3. And then according to Mr. Slope Guy, I'm so sorry he's not up, but he should be in your notes, because I told you to draw his face in there. He looks like this, guys. Mr. Slope Man. Mr. Slope Man. He really helps me through Holy Looks, because I just draw his face and I know, hey, up and down is undefined, straight across is 0. But, you know, because when I was your age, I used to get confused with horizontal and vertical. Vertical vertebrae. My Algebra 2 teacher taught me that. All right. And then we had our y-intercept, which was -2. And it's a positive slope, so there's no negative. So it should look just like that. Just like that. All right. And you can put in stat edit too. But, you know, teach his own. I think it's easier with the graph. Sometimes the calculator isn't always the best choice. If that's your only choice, it's the best choice. But it's very good to be able to figure out things using multiple strategies. Problem solving. I think using the graph is the best. Okay, now you're going to try these on your own. I'm really just going to click through these. I always say that. Sometimes I just explain it anyway, but I really am going to click through them. These are both negative. If you had drawn Mr. Slope Man, you would have known that. This is a slanting I to the right. The slope here is going to be -2/3 x plus 2. That's the equation. And then this one's going to be -3x plus 24. And that's the equation for that one. All right, now you're going to do your direct variation test cards, which I'll have posted in Google Classroom for you guys. So make sure you guys get those done, right? I will see you guys on Thursday, 7th period, and 2nd, 8th period. I'll see you guys next week. I know, next Tuesday. So, yeah. All right. Y'all have a great week. Enjoy yourself. Relax. Wash your hands. Be safe. Bye.